Imagine the beginning of the universe, a moment of pure energy and potential. From the primordial chaos, a spark of life emerges, a soul that propagates through times and cultures, assuming various forms and meanings. Today, we will travel through the thin lines that connect these ancient narratives and explore the profound mystery of the divine soul and its transformation in different cultures. Throughout human history, the understanding of the soul and its relationship with the divine has varied from culture to culture, from civilization to civilization. In ancient Mesopotamia, the soul, known as etemu, was seen as a shadow that gave the vital essence to the body. It was believed that after death, the etemu traveled to the underworld, a dark realm ruled by the goddess Ereshkigal. The mythical rivers and dark mountains of this place echoed the hardships of earthly life, reflecting the belief that the soul needed divine guidance to navigate post-mortem challenges. Let's move a bit in time and geography to the Egyptian civilization. The Egyptians had a complex view of the soul, divided into several parts, most notably Ba, Ka, and Ak. The Ba represented personality and individuality, something like the spirit that travels between the world of the living and the dead. The Ka was the vital force, which needed to be nourished, often with offerings of food and drinks. The Ak, in turn, represented continuity after death, a synthesis of Ba and Ka that allowed the soul to enjoy eternal life with the gods in the field of reeds. The Egyptians longed for eternity, and this guided their ritualistic practices, such as the mummification process, which aimed to preserve the body so that the soul could return to its physical receptacle. We move on to ancient Greece, where the soul was called psyche and had a central role in philosophy. Plato, for example, saw the psyche as immortal and pre-existing the body. According to him, at birth, the soul forgot its divine knowledge, and the journey of life was a quest to recall these deep truths. For Plato, the soul was divided into three parts: rational, irrational, and appetitive. This concept influenced not only philosophical thought, but also the development of spiritual practices and rituals that sought to harmonize these parts of the soul. From Greece, our journey takes us to ancient India, where the concept of Atma or Atman emerges in Vedic traditions and later Hindu scriptures. The Atman is seen as the individual, eternal soul, which enjoys the universal essence called Brahman. This philosophy holds that each soul is a manifestation of the same divine reality. The individual journey through the cycles of birth and rebirth, samsara, is guided by karma, the accumulated actions of past lives. The ultimate goal, moksha, is the liberation from this incessant wheel of reincarnation, achieving full unification with Brahman. In contrast, let's move to ancient China, where we find the concept of a dual soul, Hun and Po. The Hun is the spiritual and ethereal part of the soul, which ascends to heaven after death. The Po is more terrestrial and connected to the physical body, disintegrating along with it. This dualism represented the dynamic between heaven and earth, yin and yang, being central in practices and rituals, aiming to balance these parts during life. In the Jewish tradition, the concept of soul, nefesh, ruach, and neshama offers a rich and multifaceted perspective. Nefesh is the vital soul, rooted in the physical needs of the body. Ruach is the spirit, the emotional and intuitive force connecting the human being to the spiritual world. Neshama is the divine soul, the spark of God within each human being. Kabbalah, an esoteric branch of Judaism, explores these levels even more deeply, proposing that the neshama can be elevated through mystical practices and a life of justice and kindness. Advancing a few hundred years, we find ourselves in the heart of the Middle Ages in Europe, where Christian beliefs about the soul take a form that remains influential to this day. Christianity adopted many Platonic ideas, but added a strong moral component. The soul was seen as created by God in His image, immortal and destined to be judged after death. Confession and penance practices evolved as means to purify the soul, aligning the human being with divine grace. In this context, iconic figures like St. Augustine emerged, developing theories about the soul in his writings. Augustine saw the soul as a rational and immortal entity, constantly struggling between flesh and spirit. He emphasized the importance of divine grace to overcome earthly desires and achieve true happiness in union with God. Now we enter the vast steppes of Central Asia, where shamanic cultures offer a distinct view of the soul. In shamanic belief systems, the soul is often considered multiple and fragmented. Shamans or spiritual healers play essential roles by making spiritual journeys to heal fragmented souls and restore a person's spiritual harmony. The practice of transformation into animals during these journeys, known as animal metamorphosis, is a key element where the soul assumes different forms to achieve specific spiritual goals. In the vastness of the Amazonian forests, indigenous peoples have their own interpretations that still challenge the full understanding of modern scholars. In many traditions, the soul is an intrinsic part of nature, connecting all living beings in a spiritual network. Ayahuasca ceremonies, for example, are powerful tools for exploring the spiritual world, where the participant's soul can meet, dialogue with, and learn from ancient spirits and forest gods. Let's now cross the ocean and arrive in Australia, where Aboriginal nations maintain a deep connection with the dreamtime. For the Aboriginals, the soul is an intersection between the present, the past, and the eternal spiritual world. They believe that the souls of ancestors inhabit the dreamtime, a transcendental realm that sustains and influences the physical world. Sacred ceremonies aim to connect with the dreamtime, allowing the souls of the living and the deceased to meet and share wisdom. Each culture we explored offers a unique window into the understanding of the soul, reflecting the nuances of their respective worldviews and spiritual practices. These traditions, in their diversity and complexity, highlight the rich tapestry of human experience and our ongoing effort to understand our place in the cosmos. As we continue our journey, we invite you to reflect on the diverse views of the divine soul and its transformations. What aspects of these traditions resonate with you? How can these ancient beliefs enrich our modern quest for purpose, balance, and spiritual connection? Let these questions resonate in your heart and mind as you continue exploring the vast universe of spirituality and esotericism. And so we conclude our deep exploration of the divine soul and its transformations through ancient cultures. I deeply appreciate your company and engagement in this journey of discoveries. May you carry this wisdom with you and find your own inner light. Thank you very much, and see you next time.